Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member Bishop, and thank you, Undersecretary Lindberg, for being here with us this morning, sharing your testimony. Obviously, you inherited a tough situation, quite a deficit we have going, trade deficit, and I appreciate and applaud all the efforts you've made so far in this. As you noted, and the chair and ranking member talked about in their questions, there's two sides to this equation. It's exports and imports. Most of your testimony, and I know a lot of that is your background, but a lot of what has been done so far is regarding exports. I'm coming at it selfishly as a Floridian from the import side of the equation. As you may know, farmers in my district in Central and South Florida primarily grow specialty crops, and they are highly vulnerable to unfair trade practices like dumping, especially from Mexico. My producers welcome targeted trade interventions to ensure that they compete, and that's really all they're looking for, is to compete. They don't want an unfair advantage. I mean, they would welcome that, but they just really want an opportunity to compete fairly. While others are concerned that some of these actions may provoke retaliation against our exports, my folks just want just access to our own domestic market. According to an October 2025 report from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Florida growers have lost nearly 50% of their market share to foreign imports over the last 20 years, while Mexico's share of our domestic market has soared by nearly 200%. The report also estimates that this trade disparity has killed over 4,000 jobs in Florida alone and cost us up to $1 billion in missed economic activity annually. It's unacceptable, and it certainly isn't sustainable. I just had a roundtable last week with farmers who want desperately to continue farming, but it gets tougher and tougher every year, especially with Mother Nature as your primary business partner. We've already got enough curveballs thrown from that without unfair trade practices. As you know, the USMCA is scheduled for a joint review between signatories this July. It's critical that the administration utilize this vehicle to implement new tools like seasonal tariff rate quotas on certain products. Without changes, Florida producers will be completely shut out of our own domestic market. And while USDA does not negotiate the USMCA trade agreements directly, your office does play a key advisory role in agricultural trade. Does the USDA support stronger seasonal safeguards for specialty crop growers who struggle to compete with Mexico?
Thank you, sir, for the question. So, again, I'll mention that a couple things quickly. One is that we are forecasting a significant decrease in the overall price of imports this year and the total dollar amount of imports that are coming into the United States of America. And so I think we are making progress on this. And I certainly will commit to you to advise our USTR colleagues of your comments and your feedback today. I recently was in South Texas with citrus growers there. I was recently in California and met with many folks in the horticulture space there, stone fruit farmers, table grape growers who have the same concerns. These concerns are not going on deaf ears and are absolutely part of our overall conversations about what the USMCA agreement could and should look like.
Do you support, or does USDA support, implementing product-specific trade rate quotas as part of USMCA?
I don't. I will commit to you that I'm happy to share those viewpoints with our colleagues at the U.S. Trade Representative's Office, but they are really the point person on negotiating what will be included and not included in that final terms of the agreement.
Okay. Just generally, how does USDA track dumping and import surges that are affecting specialty crops, especially from Mexico, which now accounts for almost 70% of our imports?
Yeah, so every month we get a export-import overall sort of data dump from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that gets compiled into our systems, and we track that on a monthly basis in terms of what's coming in and what's coming out of the country.
Okay. Do you believe that current trade enforcement mechanisms are sufficient to protect our U.S. fruits and vegetable producers?
I think there are areas where we can do better than we're doing today.
Okay. Could you maybe share some of those, what we might be able to assist with and help push along?
Well, I think if you take a look at some of the actions we've already taken, for example, on the tomato suspension agreement with Mexico, we have seen, I think, this administration take a little bit harder stance on ensuring that our tomato growers in the United States and in your home state of Florida have a better opportunity to compete. So that would be one example, I think, that we are taking a stance that more directly supports our domestic producers.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back. Yep.